Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. I have an honest question and I want an answer to this. Where do you think Bitcoin is going? What do you think is going to happen to or with Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin's price going to be next year? What do you think Bitcoin's price is going to be next year? Did that little shut off thing like it always does. I mean, it's not an old camera either, which I think is kind of weird. How much Bitcoin do you think the average person should have? These are all questions, and I spend a lot of my time thinking about these things because of the idea of where this market is going to go. A couple of years ago, it was quite, I want to say, odd to be like hyper pessimistic on Bitcoin, but I think we've kind of flown back into that world. A long time ago, I mean years ago, 7 years ago, people were a lot more concerned with altcoins, or the ideas of altcoins overtaking Bitcoin, or Bitcoin not being able to do exactly what it's currently doing. A lot of like really famous people within the cryptocurrency space, especially the last couple of months, I could maybe assume it's because of the launch of the Bitcoin ETFs, but I'm not 1,000% sure, have become quite eccentric in that the price predictions that we keep getting now for Bitcoin, I feel like are really intense, but also at times I also feel like they're like a little bit realistic. So without, having to say too much or too little, Samson Mao, Kathy Wood, I always forget these other people's names, Mike Novogratz, the guy from Michael Saylor, and the whole shebang, all of them. They're all talking about that by next year, Bitcoin's price is going to be anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million per coin. It sounds exciting, but then I also don't know how to actually feel about it. In that, I feel like all of this is happening very fast, and I'm not sure. I must be the only one. I think these price increases can't come quick enough for a lot of people within the space. But it becomes a situation for me where I wish normal people had more time to accumulate so that they could also benefit from Bitcoin's price increases, especially if we end up seeing price increases that go insane in the 2030s, 2040s, 2050s, and the last Bitcoin isn't mined until the year 2140. So yeah, I don't know. Just maybe like a random thought, because one of the popular news stories of the day was that Samson Mao kind of reiterated that he thinks that Bitcoin is going to $1 million even next year. It does a lot for people within the cryptocurrency space, but the problem is that we still need more people in the actual cryptocurrency space. This isn't meant to be like another one of the other conversations that we've been having before, where for those of you who are missing it, daily there's news still about the entire supply, the entire mined supply of Bitcoin being purchased in one go. The difference is that we're not every day getting like super extravagant news about the Bitcoin ETFs. Even some, it's really, I'll be completely honest with you. A lot of days, if we hear that there's like an outflow from the ETFs, it's maybe like $80 million, maybe like $110, $114 million. That same exact day, whales either buy up the equivalent of what was sold through the ETFs, or like a 5 or 6x what was sold. So there's never really like a reason per se for prices to even fall, because the buying pressure is always there. The buying that we see happening is this shift from people who are in the market, newer people who are in the market, who are selling off their coins into the hands of, once again, these very wealthy people. For those of you who just missed one of the other videos, the amount of addresses holding an entire Bitcoin are now over 1 million addresses. It's insane. But, a lot of those addresses were already holding 1 Bitcoin. Like the majority of them already had 1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, 15 Bitcoin, 180 Bitcoin, 20,000 Bitcoin. You understand exactly what I'm saying. So we're seeing accumulation levels from people who've been in the market maybe a couple of years. I see a lot of people on Twitter. Side note, no one needs to know how much money you have in your bank account, and no one needs to know how much Bitcoin you have. However, I see a lot of people on Twitter kind of like celebrating when they get to half a coin or when they get to an entire coin, and they tell people on Twitter, no one on Twitter needs no one needs to know that. That's literally your personal business. The other side of this accumulation factor that we see is that even during the last 3 months of consolidation and prices going down and sideways movement, the coins that are being purchased silently by companies, by institutions. People keep forgetting that we had a market before ETFs. That sounds like a joke, but it's not. I keep seeing people forgetting that people could buy and are still buying Bitcoin without the need of ETFs. So we keep getting news all the time of whales buying, and it goes over under people's heads. It goes sideways. I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but people keep forgetting that accumulation in that way can happen. Every day, there's news of a company here who just bought 220 Bitcoin. This other company just bought 180 Bitcoin. And the normal levels of accumulation that we're seeing, even the prices going down aren't an indicator of like how much is being accumulated over the course of a day. There's a lot of things you can do to like make sure that prices are suppressed while accumulation is happening. The amount of Bitcoin being created per day by the machines is being purchased. It's gone every single day. There is no real new Bitcoin entering the market. The only new Bitcoin entering the market is the Bitcoin that's being sold by people who have recently entered the market, who are frustrated and they're selling off their coins. And also just a little bit of a side note, because I heard someone say it. Even when people who are mining Bitcoin, they have to sell their coins, and they've been selling more recently because they have to keep the lights on. They have a huge electricity bill. They've had for years, even besides the thing that we heard about them, working with banks and selling their coins to banks. Even before that, not normal people, investors were already buying these coins. These coins don't hit the market. There's a huge demand for what they call clean coins. You don't hear the term clean coins that much anymore. It's basically coins that have no transactions attached to them. It shows that they're brand new, they're clean, they were never involved in something years ago that could have potentially been deemed as illegal by a government. Therefore, you want the clean coins. And this is what the banks and the institutions are also collecting and stuff all the time. But I wonder where we're going. I truly know that is a real, I truly wonder where this market and where this space is going. What happens if we hit $500,000 next year? What happens to the people who don't have crypto? And you might not care because you're a different kind of person. But think of like the world when all the wealth is literally just the Bitcoin wealth is just reheld once again by the same exact people who were already rich. It's kind of a weird thought. I didn't think, and I've said this before on the other channel as well. I didn't think we'd be this fast in the cycles, even like price wise. I expected we had like another 10 to 15 years before we even got to around these levels of adoption and stuff like that. Bitcoin only succeeds. Understand my words. Bitcoin only succeeds if we have about 1 billion people in this market. We need normal people to like actually use Bitcoin, to hold Bitcoin, so that it's not in the hands of just one company who owns 241,000, in the hands of two brothers who probably have over 400,000 Bitcoin. Like we need to, yeah. So when I think about these numbers, it's great from a portfolio perspective. If we have a $1 million Bitcoin, Every other coin has completely lost their mind, and they've also skyrocketed as well. But then it's also like, you know, don't forget about the original purpose of Bitcoin. I'm not sure who I'm telling this to, or if anyone's even listening at this point in the video, but yeah, I think we have a couple very interesting years ahead of us. And I just hope that we get it right. So yeah, a lot of the larger people in the space are, I mean, talking about $1 million Bitcoin soon. And I know it even sounds insane when you look at the market right now. You're like, what are these people on? But they keep mimicking it over and over. And they keep saying $1 million Bitcoin is coming soon. $1 million Bitcoin. It makes sense from like an accumulation, like a technical perspective. But also like the world changes if we hit $1 million. We're over the valuation of gold. We like are near surpassing like the power of the US dollar. Yeah, very interesting world headed our way. I think that'll do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed in some sort of way my ranting videos. I have so many thoughts that go through my head about money, about like economics, about Bitcoin, about like the future, about technology, where things are going, the accumulation of assets. You've definitely heard me talk about that before. That's a huge thing for me. All the assets are being accumulated by the richest people on the planet. Like they're buying everything. The people who have money, who had money even before, are using their money to accumulate new assets that are also rising in value. And then they get even richer and they use a portion of that money to buy something else. And it just kind of continues in this loop over and over. And this is once again why I'm a huge advocate for people like getting into crypto, so that people can make money, can buy assets, can then buy other assets, and it kind of continues on as well. But we're in a world where we still have billions of people who don't care or aren't paying attention to it. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.